The next step in learning how to engage your core properly is to breathe in different positions. So the first position that we're going to work on breathing properly in is going to be on our backs. This is a position where a lot of people struggle to breathe properly, so be patient with yourself. It's okay if it takes you a little bit to get it. Now, the details of how you're going to perform this movement depend on the position of your pelvis. Some people have a pelvis that's tilted forward, some people have their pelvis tilted underneath, and some people have a neutral pelvis. I will tell you which alignment you have in your body, and these nuances will determine which variation of this exercise you will choose for yourself. If you have an anterior pelvic tilt, meaning your pelvis is tilted forward, you may want to consider grabbing a towel roll and placing it underneath your back so that you can contact the ground a little bit easier without having to fight so hard to get your back to come into neutral. So I'm going to demonstrate that first, and then we'll go on and touch on the other variations of this movement as we go. So I'm going to lay down on my back, and I'm going to take this towel roll and place it underneath my back. See how when I lay down, as I'm demonstrating here in anterior pelvic tilt, my back has a relatively decent arch naturally. So if you are able to relax and still slip your hand underneath your back, then you probably do have that anterior pelvic tilt, meaning that you have an excess curve in your lower back and your pelvis is tilted upward. So in order to help me use my deep core without putting too much of the work into my rectus abdominis, or those six-pack muscles, so that I can more easily engage my accessory core muscles, I'm going to take this roll and put it underneath my back right here to bring the floor up to my back a little bit more. This is just going to give me not necessarily support, but it's going to help me to find my deep core a lot easier than if I'm trying to jam my back into the floor, because that anterior pelvic tilt is keeping my back so far off the ground. So I'm going to take the breathing that we did in exercise 1, and we're going to bring it here into this exercise on the floor. So I'm going to breathe in, and as I breathe in, I should feel my back expand into the towel roll, my belly should expand up toward the ceiling, and my rib cage should expand side to side. Now, if I do this properly, all those things will happen at once and they'll be coming out, and then as I exhale, it'll all come in. So I'm going to inhale, expand 360 degrees around. I should see a nice filling in between the rib cage and the belly. And I should see that my back is pressing against this towel roll, and I should also see a nice expansion here. It may help to take your camera and point it at the different areas and then send me a video, or at least look through the footage and see if you are expanding equally on all sides, so that you can work to target the areas that aren't expanding so well. First, you're going to want to make sure that you've exhaled all the air out of your lungs. Now you're going to breathe in. Everything expands, pelvic floor, belly, rib cage, back, and then exhale. Passive exhale, everything comes in. I'm going to breathe in. Feeling the back press against the floor is probably going to be the hardest part for most people. Belly, ribs back, come in. Now I'm going to add in that active engagement as I'm exhaling. So I'm going to breathe in, exhale, pelvic floor comes up, belly button comes to spine, rib cage comes down as my core wraps all the way around, and I get all this engagement here from 360 degrees, and then I relax and inhale. Everything comes out again. Exhale, come in, pelvic floor, belly button, rib cage, core wraps around. Inhale, expand. Contract. Breathe in, expand. Now, I'm going to add in a movement to this. Once I've mastered that pattern, I'm going to start to add in the movement that helps me to bring and transition all of this core engagement over into the real world. So I'm going to add a little bit of exertion, a little bit of movement into this pattern to help me learn how to engage my core when I'm picking up grocery bags or children or getting in and out of the car. All of these real life things will help us to gain real core stability that will carry over into real life. So I'm going to inhale, exhale, and then engage everything. And as I'm engaging, I'm also going to pull my leg up to 90-90. Now I'm going to bring it down, breathe in, and put it down. So I'm going to inhale, exhale, breathe out, pull my leg up, and then breathe in, put it down. Now, if it's too hard for you to breathe in while you're putting your leg down and you need to do a couple reps or a couple lifts while you are bracing your core, you can do that. So that would look like this. So instead of breathing out and then in on my way down, I'm breathing out all the way through. Though eventually I would like for you to be able to inhale through that brace so you can have true core engagement regardless of whether you're breathing in or out. So I'm going to breathe in, and now we're going to do a couple reps together. Exhale. I'm imagining that my foot weighs 300 pounds. Watch for the next video and we'll progress it together.